staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome to Sunday's edition of Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson BHS LLC, where relationships lead and purpose lives. And I'm always joined on the ones and twos with Harrison. I want to say the Eric B of our time. He might have to look that one up. I don't know if he knows about Eric B and Rakim, but
nope, I'm John Blanks.
Wow. We're going to have to go ahead and do a whole nother session and educate you, maybe get DP in there, get back with that a song of the day or whatever else. But it was a phenomenal DJ. It was a phenomenal rap duo. Of their time, but glad to be back in the seat. I know Mike held it down last week, and so Harrison, great to see you as always. How things going?
Yeah, it's doing great. It's always great. Pleasure to see Mike. Shout out to him for filling in here. Tell you what, he's a high energy individual. Every time when he showed up, I was like, all right, let me get my energy up as well. Shout out to him. He always does a great job. And then of course, great scholar as well. Miller was her last name.
Ari Miller. Yeah,
Ari,
and then brought the whole family in the studio, had the sister and I think the mom. I think they were probably a little bit unexpected for them, but did a nice job. It was kind of cool to see when you get family pride in the space and they share their pride and joy and, and celebrating that International Women's Month, kind of how she talked about her mom, and then her mom just talked about just, all the hopes and dreams and how proud she was of a daughter. And that was really cool.
Yeah, it was great to see the entire family in there. And then I'd recommend people go watch the YouTube because you can see the genuine reactions. And sometimes the kids' answers were comical, but well thought out all at the same time. And it was funny to see the big sister, of course, and then the mom's reaction. And then shout out to the dad as well. He wasn't allowed in studio because we're celebrating International Women's Month, but nonetheless, he was here as well. So shout out to that entire family. Great people.
Fantastic. Well, hey, we're going to do a little bit of catch up and chatter later. I know there's been a lot of Husker talk. Iowa, you had Fitness Fanatics on. There was some confusion that I had changed over to a Bears fan. We'll clear that up a little bit later. But right now I want to kind of get to what matters. And we have somebody in the studio that I've been trying to get in for a while, Harrison. This scholar, he's busy, he works, he's crushing it, making things happen. But Dorian, how are you doing? And thanks for coming in.
Hey, honey, wash day, Pete. For those of you who don't know, that's Lakota for good morning.
Fantastic. Well, good morning. And you know what? We're going to start off right off the bat because I appreciate you, putting that forward and tell us a little bit about who you are, like your name. You talked about, giving us a greeting in Lakota. And say it again so everybody gets the clarity on that.
Hihani Washte is good morning in Lakota.
Fantastic. So tell us who you are, your purpose, and tell us a little bit about just how you represent in the space.
My name is Dorian. As you guys heard from Pete, I'm a scholar. I'm Native American and African American. And I'm a senior at Southeast High School, and my purpose is to help educate those about Native American culture while also being educated about other cultures.
Love that. So Dorian, you told us a little bit about your purpose. Tell us a little bit about your family. Who makes up your crew? Who's out there listening to you?
My family consists of my mom, my two little sisters. That's my home family.
Give them a shout out by name if you can. I know they're probably like, "What are you, just little sister? I'm more than that. Come on now."
My little sisters' names are Trinity and Elena.
Okay.
And my mom's name is Desert.
Okay.
And also part of my crew is my grandma, who's always supporting me, Elena Long.
Awesome. So tell us about your journey a little bit. Have you always lived in Lincoln, Nebraska? Where have you gone to school? And just kind of tell us a little bit about your personal journey.
My journey, I was born and raised here in Nebraska, Lincoln, to be specific. I go to the reservation in Pine Ridge like often, maybe twice a year.
Okay.
Visit my family, learn more Lakota and Navajo because my great grandma is Navajo tribe. She's the only Navajo native on the Pine Ridge Reservation. So,
wow. That's got to be pretty awesome to kind of have that history, that legacy, but also get that insight and perspective. Talk about a little bit when you said your journey. You've always lived in Lincoln. So tell us schools you've attended and give some shout outs about moments that you may have experienced in those schools.
Okay. So to start it off, didn't go to preschool.
Okay. That's all right. Harrison and I mean, my wife's a preschool teacher, but not all of us. Some of us were a little advanced and went ahead and skipped right to second grade. That's what we were waiting for. Dorian be like, no, I didn't go to preschool. I just started right off at the 5th grade. I didn't need the rest of that stuff.
I went straight into kindergarten. My mom's been teaching me math and reading since I was pretty much able to roll over and crawl.
Okay.
So I just went straight into kindergarten at Elliott Elementary School.
Okay.
After that, I went to Leffler for middle school, and my first year of high school was at Lincoln High. And then I transferred to Southeast, which I've experienced a greater deal of like work being done with the students rather than for them.
Okay. So talk a little bit. You said elementary at Elliott. You went to Leffler. Mm-hmm. Actually, did a couple of years at Leffler as well, and then you went to Lincoln High and Southeast. Tell us about an elementary experience that you look back on. I think about climbing the slide or some. Harrison probably where he's from. They slid down the slide. They weren't allowed to climb the slide. But tell me about an elementary experience or a teacher or an educator, a custodian, lunchroom person that you're like, man, like you know what. I'm on the radio right now, and I just want to tell you, like, I really appreciated you.
So I had a teacher my first first grade year. And so knowing me, she knew that I was too advanced for the stuff that she was teaching, so she just put all my work in a bin and used an incentive of me going to go like play with things that are inside the room because I'm still a kid, so like I still got to play. And
Okay.
so she using toys as an incentive to get me to do my work because I already knew the work and I was helping the students around me.
I think that's pretty cool in a lot of ways. What's that teacher's name? Do you remember?
Miss O'Shea.
Okay. So shout out to Miss O'Shea for being creative and finding the ways to keep you engaged and knowledgeable. What about now as you've gone forward? What is something that really like interests you in your educational component? So I think about like, every time everybody says, oh, math, science, and English or whatever, but what is really drawn your interest in school that says, okay, this is why I come back each and every day?
For me, it's not really the topics like main subjects of math, science, and English, like the broadness. It's more of like specific things that we don't really learn in school, like electrical engineering and paleontology, and so like direct career fields.
So that experiential component that you get, and then how it's we always talk about rigor, relevance, and relationships. And so there's some rigor in all those, because as you said it, I was like, that's a multi-syllable word. And so Harris and I always laugh every week when somebody comes in here. We're like, okay, I mean, I'm a communications major. I was like, man, just keep it simple. It's like paleontology. I'm going into primal science. I'm going into, whatever, aquatics. But I like that fact that it's hands-on, because I'm that type of person. I have to experience it and then I understand the relevance, or how there's a relationship with math, science, and English, so to speak. So what is something that brings you joy?
Something that brings me joy is helping out my family whenever I can, like helping my mom out, because even though I did have a stepdad, he was always at work, so it was just me, my mom, and my sisters at home. And so seeing my mom like smile or be happy or proud of me in general just like brings joy to my life.
I think the cool part, Harrison, is I've gotten to meet your mom, and she's been waiting for you after certain days that we've had or whatever, and got individuals in the car, and you can tell when there's a connection, because when you walk out, and I just came over one time, I was like, hey, I'm just really proud of him. He's done some great things. She's like, I know, but it's always good to hear. And it's got a huge smile on her face, supporting you. Got the gear on for the track meet or the next event. As it's International Women's Day, and we speak about, and this month we've really focused on, just championing females that have either been in our life, the contribution, and just the social advocacy. What is something that your mom brings to the table that you couldn't live without?
I'd say something that she brings to the table that I couldn't live without would be motherly love or respect, because without her, I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
What does that look like for you? And just, has there been a moment where you're like, wow, that's real?
There's been multiple times where I was like that. Sometimes in the moment, I don't realize it until maybe like a few hours or a few days pass. And so without her, I wouldn't be filled with like all the kindness and respect that I have for everybody around me.
I think as I know she's listening to you right now, if she was sitting right beside you, you had 15 seconds to say something to her, what would you say?
I'd say that I love her and that I really respect everything that she's done for me and my two little sisters. Even my aunt, when our grandpa couldn't take care of her, she took our aunt in and found time to still care for us.
As you sit there, that hits home. I wanted to be quiet for a quick second and let that sit in, because I know as she sits there and listens, probably has a huge smile on her face, but also maybe a tear of joy and happiness coming down out of her eye. So what is something that's easy for you that's hard for other people? You've seen this question before, so I drew off some things you might be familiar, but something that's easy for you but that's hard for other people.
I remember talking about this at Cadre. I'd say for me, it would be like being composed in certain situations, like being at a funeral. I can be composed there rather than the people around me, like who are breaking down. I can manage to try to stay as composed as possible, so that way I'm like the role model for my siblings and my little cousins and everybody around me, you know.
I think there's an element of that. And think about, how old are you?
I'm 17. Oh, I just turned 18.
Just turned 18. Okay, so there you go. Just like skipping to kindergarten, and now you're just skipping ages. But Harrison, I don't know your thoughts on that, but when you share that, I think sometimes there's some levity, and other people will share certain things. But you talked about your ability to recognize space, the need of others outside of your own, to have some compassion and some calmness in moments that are not necessarily easy, and you have every right to be emotional.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say I had that ability to stay composed in those situations that can be stressful at times. But why do you feel the need to hold that composure? Do you see yourself needing to be a role model for maybe your siblings out there when you get into those tougher situations?
Yeah, so for me, it's always been like I'm the oldest kid out of my mom's. So with me seeing my siblings crying, or see if they saw me crying, then they wouldn't. For me, it's always been a thing like if they see me cry or break down, then who else do they have to look up to?
And I admire that in so many ways. And what I always would want to just make sure you understand is definitely when they see your emotion too, you're allowed to cry. And then when they see your emotion, they still look up to you in that way as well. So I appreciate you sharing that personal reflection. What are some of your involvements? I know you got a full-on list of things that you're doing, and so I had to book this man out. He was like the president getting on his schedule. He'd probably tell you, like, Pete just kept texting me. He was like, "Hey, can I be on? I got something." I was like, "Can I get your family on?" I was trying to get, if I could get his family, I could get him to sneak in and everything else. But what are you involved in?
So as you mentioned before, I'm working. I do track and field. I'm involved in school. I just finished a culinary competition for a state.
Okay, hold up now, because there's a couple things that you hit on the food thing, Harrison. And I like that. We always like it. People hit on the food things, but like food doesn't come into the space. But tell us about the culinary. What got you interested in the cooking? And you brought some stuff in December. I'm still feeding off the stuff. Harrison, you're gonna have to hear what he brought.
We baking, cooking? I'm curious.
He's gonna tell us about the culinary and tell what you brought in December. And I still I took some of those home and froze them. I still got them. Go ahead.
So my culinary competition was for Pro Start National Culinary.
And what is that for people who may not know?
People who may not know, it's just like a culinary competition, like how we have the LPS culinary competitions once a year.
Okay.
And so this one's the same thing. It's annual. We do regionals first, which is just the people within your county. Then we do state. Here in Nebraska, it's all 3 counties, like the top 3 from each county going to state. And then from there, you take one team from each county and pretty much put them against each other, or the best teams in general, the top 3 best teams, and put them against each other for a second competition that's also part of state.
Okay.
We got second out of all of Nebraska. So we aren't going to nationals in Baltimore in April, but
Harrison and I need to go find some people. I mean, I'm not condoning anything, but I mean, tell us what you cooked. What beat you all? Because I again, congratulations to them. They're probably listening and be like, "Oh, I'm not going to accept that invitation on the show." But what did y'all cook?
So for us, we made our starter was a chawanmushi, which is a traditional Japanese style dish. Like, it's an inviting starter. So
help me out here. I'm not very cultured. I hate to say
it. So it's like a steamed egg. You take egg, dashi stock, which is anchovy powder, water, and soy sauce along with mirin.
Okay.
Mix it all together. Pour it into a cup that you put in your steamer, like a teacup, or a ramekin, or a small little bowl. Pretty much anything that you can put inside your steamer, and then you just steam it for a little while on high heat for 2 minutes, and then on medium heat for 18 minutes.
You got some details down
I was
there.
gonna say you guys are
like,
cooking a little bit more than what I'm doing in my kitchen.
Yeah, I'm just opening it up. It's like, okay, 30 more seconds on the microwave, make it happen. All right, you guys, that's some date night stuff right there that you're talking about. Okay, so you did that. Was there anything else that accompanied it or that complemented it?
So we did a 3-course meal. So
Okay.
our starter was the chamamushi. Our entree was 2 steaks and sushi rice.
So you didn't have to explain that to Harrison or myself when you
we
said
got
the
that
2
one.
steaks and okay, the sushi rice. What the sushi rice like? What was there like wasabi? Was there anything special in that? or-
So our whole entire 3-course meal was based off of different art pieces.
Oh,
The chamamushi was based off of Da Vinci's sunflowers. Our entree, called Triptych Temptation, was based off of I can't remember the artist's name, but it was called Heavenly Garden of Delights.
Wow.
Or Garden of Heavenly Delights.
Okay.
The name of the painting, which is a triptych style painting,
Okay.
which consists of heaven, earth, and hell.
So the steaks, if you were going to recommend to us, how should we? So I like my steak a certain way, but what is your recommendation if you're cooking the steak? If I said I'm going to give you free reign to have it cooked the way you think it'll come out best for me.
So we went with medium well.
Thank you.
For our steak.
There you go. That's where I'm at.
And it was New York strips. So we cut them down into rectangular slabs. And
you about to make this
I know,
go south.
it's
We were
like
going to
close to
break. I'm
noon
looking across the street as Nick Stainer says, no free shout outs. But I'm like, you got to open up here in about 10 minutes so we can go ahead and get us some. So what was the 3-course? So there was a dessert.
Yeah.
Where Harrison and I are sitting here on pins and needles. What's the dessert? Our
dessert was just a blueberry mousse based off of Claude Monet's Water Lily series.
Okay. I like that thought.
That's cool to put the artist paintings in there. And I had to look it up. I don't want to butcher this guy's names, but the Garden of Earthly Delights. Bosch, Hieronymus Bosch, or Bosch. I'm not exactly sure how to say it.
Hieronymus Bosch.
Bosch, yeah, Hieronymus Bosch. Thank you very much for pronouncing that correctly for me. But no, that's a really cool idea. Where'd the idea to tie in like the artist with the paintings behind it come from?
So our whole idea was like, it's a new concept. It's different from everything else. Everybody else was going off of like cultural differences, like different foods from different cultures. Kind of the same thing, but mix in the art pieces because all these 3 different art pieces are based off of human emotion.
I feel like this is like what you'd see at like a 5-star
Yeah,
place on like the West
exactly.
Coast somewhere. Like this is, you got like some real culture behind these pieces. And I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that where that's where they're pulling the inspiration from, but I love the idea.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there. I'm basically like, okay, I'm going from ramen noodles to all of a sudden to this. I'm feeling like it just meet me in the middle a little bit. But I love that. So I know I interrupted you in regards to the other involvements, but that's really cool. What is your inspiration for wanting to do culinary? And I mean, I know you've got shows and different things like that, and people can say that. But is it from family? Is it just something you found an interest in?
For me, it's like the side of the family that I do know, my mom's side of the family, none of the guys cook. So it was like, for me, it was like, I want to be different. I want to learn how to cook because I don't want like newer generation. Not everybody knows how to cook. So I want to be able to sustain for myself. Also, my stepdad's a chef at Shogun. So he's been teaching me how to cook since I was 6.
I tell people, man, there's one thing. If you can cook, play the guitar, and sing, you're gonna go ahead and make it happen. We're gonna go to break. Hey, you got our mouths watering and everything here. Harrison's like, we gotta go to break, man. We gotta go get some food. We're gonna run back here to the mill. That 1040 O Street, you can come get. I'm not gonna say it's Hieronymus. It's probably. Well, you can tie one of the drinks into Hieronymus Bosch's, piece. But we'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score.
Want to make the easy call? Call John Henry's. From leaky pipes to a broken AC, flickering lights to furnace fights, even drains and duct cleaning, we've got it handled. Plumbing, heating, air, and electrical, all under one trusted roof. Proudly serving homes across Lincoln, Omaha, and surrounding areas and ready 24/7. Visit calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Spring storms happen, but LES line workers are ready. While they're out in the weather, you can stay inside and still lend a hand by reporting your outage at les.com/report.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
In Nebraska, we show up when friends need help. We check in on our neighbors. That's why it's important to know the warning signs of suicide. If you have a friend or neighbor who's withdrawn, stressed, agitated, or talks about suicide, find out how you can help. Call, text, or chat 988 for 24/7 support. You have the power to save a life. Paid for by the University of Nebraska Public Policy Center. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Looking for something fun tonight? Axe throwing, local beer, and great vibes are waiting at Arbor Axe House. From casual nights out to celebrations and team events, it all starts here. Reserve a lane today at arboraxe.com. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score. We want to say the mouth-watering edition, because if you did not hear the last segment, Harris and I are sitting here like looking at each other like, okay, where's a food truck? What can we go hit up? But Dorian here has talked to us about his culinary experience, and glad to have Dorian Nolan Jr. in the space. He shared a little bit about just his journey, his purpose, welcomed us in Lakota, and just shared with us a little bit about his culture. And so he did show us the pictures of the individuals that won. Congratulations to them. They're probably 93.7 The Ticket listeners, well-deserved. But Dorian, that steak, the steak strip and everything, that was what we're pulling for. So Dorian, as we kind of still continue to get in things, you told us a little bit about just your culture. Talk about just the importance of that to you, but also to your family. And you talked about you go to Pine Ridge, and you said your grandma, I believe, is the only native Navajo in that space. Talk a little bit about how that's played a role in your life.
So for me, it's like, for me, culture is very important, because your traditions and who you are come from your culture. And without that, you kind of lose the sense of identity. So going to Pine Ridge every so often, it always like just refills me with so much like that I didn't know, and so much that there's still to learn about who I am.
So one of the greatest takeaways, if for those that may not be as familiar with Native culture, what is one of the elements of pride and just elements that lifts you up that you take with you in any space that you go into?
One thing is that we're very stubborn, so it's like we refuse help when we need it.
Okay.
Unless it's like immediate help, because we're very prideful. My grandparents on my dad's side of the family always tell me, let go of that native pride and accept help whenever it's offered to you.
Awesome. So you've talked about that, just kindness and advice in general, because I'd like to transition this into advice. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've ever received is, it wouldn't really be advice. It's more of a statement that my great grandfather told me before he passed. It was, since we're Native American, we're Lakota, our main value is to protect the women around us and never put them in harm's way.
Love that. So what's the worst piece of advice that you'd never give to somebody?
The worst piece of advice I'd never give to somebody is that things always happen whenever they're meant to happen, because it's all up to you, your choices. And so I heard it at my baby cousin's funeral. One time it was mentioned that not everything is God's will, it's also your will.
Truth about life that either you've experienced or that you've been around young people, and that's been kind of the cool piece to see you interact with. But what's one truth about life that you need people to understand?
One truth about life that I've understood from a young age was that I'm different. I look different from those around me. I'm going to be treated differently. I need to show these people that I can be better than what their previous stereotypes are.
Well, as you say, we've got DP, station manager, or not manager. I'm up here giving titles. I'm still focused on food, DP. I don't know if you heard the first episode.
I got demoted over there.
Hey, we got Harrison over here as the station owner. I just like throwing titles around. DP, Rebecca, station owners. Dorian, you have met in earlier, and I wanted him to come in because this is a great segue, because you talked about treated differently, but kindness and putting that forward. And DP is one of the premier individuals that, would love Prince and just speaks about that. And I wanted him in here because I wanted him to hear this story. And so about 3 weeks ago, we had our greater than one district, and we do that traditionally, every year as an opportunity that we traditionally combine and get other districts. We've had 7 or so districts come in, Bellevue, West Side. We had Grand Island last year, but this year we wanted to do an internal focus. And so we wanted to be more than just an event where you bring people together. DP did an inclusion summit for us and brought the house down in Omaha, but we wanted it to be inclusion in action. And Dorian, first part of the day, we did some activities and some learning. The second part of the day, we had early childhood. We had preschool kids, so the grade that you skipped.
Yeah.
But we had about 40 preschool kids come from the Lincoln Montessori. So thanks to Emily Detter. And they came into the space. And so we had the African collective from Omaha did a drumming component. You did puzzles, you read books and story time. And Dorian, I don't know if you know this, but the drumming was cool.
Yeah. It was just loud.
So tell us a little bit about that experience, and tell DP and those who are listening kind of what your experience was like at that.
For me, the drumming part in general, like the drumming was emotional. Like it really hit the soul. And then the second part of the experience, when Pete got up to go perform.
I showed my old school moves from 1990, from 94 to 97.
There was a little girl there, and she had a sensory issue, so I let her use my headphones because rather than having her and her mom leave, I wanted them to enjoy the experience that we were offering.
And so, Sam Stecker, but also DP, who knows him, talks about random acts of kindness, but let's not make them random. Let's continue to make them kindness. And so, DP, I wanted you to hear that because as you heard that, I wanted, Dorian, I know you got to leave for work, but I wanted to make sure I can go be long-winded, as you well know that. But on behalf of the ticket, on behalf of station owner, DP Harrison, who is the Eric B. and Rakim of the show, but just all of us, I wanted to gift this to you because sometimes you don't do things to expect something. And I wanted you to have those because I remember, DP, this is the piece, and I want you to share what you heard, but I heard that you gave your headphones to her, and then you went to the parents and you said, I apologize, they're not noise canceling.
Yeah.
And she said, thank you so much because we were going to have to leave. And she was really excited about being here. And so I wanted to gift those to you. You can go ahead and open that. And then DP Harrison, as you've heard that and heard, Dorian speak, that's why I've been bugging you for about the last month to get you on. But we wanted to gift you some headphones, and those are noise canceling for you. And I appreciate you in so many ways.
So, one, thank you for you. In the most authentic, sincere, simple form. Thank you for you as you are right now. All the things you've accumulated, all the people who love on you, all of those wise people who actively love you, putting that active love in you for others, understanding that you are so covered in love that the other thing will never stick to you. That is a real blessing, and it's favor. And so we have to call it that. We have to say to you so that you're aware, never worry about being different. Excel in it. Be authentic in it. Be as brilliantly different as you can possibly be. Why? Because if all the things that happen in this universe require that you be made exactly as you are to make us better, then be you. Be you. That's why the universe is met together. Put your parents together at a particular moment, in a particular time, so you could be exactly as you are and their parents together, so that 2 generations down, here you come. The accumulation of all those, as Hoss Tabrizi likes to say, the accumulation of greatnesses. That's love out loud. He mentioned Love Prince, which is, you talked about inclusion, actively inclusive. Active is the busyness that makes humanity move. Inclusion, call it love, you can call it togetherness, you can call it connected connectiveness. There it is. I'll get it out. But they have to happen together, and you have that blessing. You're already aware. You're ahead of all of us that you figured out early that love and action are required together for things to move. So love prints was the thing. It's a hand and a heart. The hand is action. Love is the heart. Independently, they're good, but they're not great. It's every great moment of your life. Those two things will meet. And that's how you know you should go forward and not with it. So with that, love prints is a real thing. It is a real thing. So young man, I want you to know that is the sign. That logo is a sign that love not only exists here, but it's welcome. Actively, openly, out loud. So for exactly as you are today, whatever today number is for you, today is 23,555 for me. It's the only sunrise I get that has 23,555 on it. The only one. I've never been this old before. I'm never going to be this young again. I'm never going to be this dumb. I'm never going to be smarter than I am a minute from now. But today brought me you, Dorian. Mm-hmm. That's how cool today is. I literally could take today's episode and title it Dorian. A reminder of the good in us. A reminder in the bright future. A reminder in the love that exists and that will exist far beyond us is you. Carrying that as armor and pride with you, saying it with your chest. And because of you, Pete Ferguson gets covered in love. Harrison Arns, as always, he knows that it is a sign. It is a sign that love exists here and welcome here, and that is who you are. So thank you for what you do. And this book is just, as you talk about your elders and your family, continue to tell the stories of them teaching you. It'll be a great reminder in the future to tell other people to love the people who loved on them. The wisest people, those who love them. Brilliant. So take that. In that is some stories about people who loved me. Without them, the people in that book, I would not be here today doing this, and I certainly would not have met you. So I want you to understand that. Well done, young man.
Thank you.
DP, station owner.
right?
And Rebecca,
yeah,
co-owners.
Yeah,
No, but thank you all for providing the space. Dorian, I know you have to go to work, but before you go, I always want to end with just your message. And so what is a 30-second message that you have to the community? I mean, the message you delivered to that young lady and that family and that moment to us was huge. But what is a 30-second message? And if you want to put it in your native language, love to hear that. But a 30-second message of hope, joy, and just resilience to the community.
For me, a 30-second message to everybody else would be that kind of same thing DP said, like, love everybody around you. Without love, we couldn't keep this world spinning. This world would just fall into chaos. And so the stranger down the street, show them kindness, buy them a meal. The people in your classes, people at your workplace, give them a compliment, whether it be about their shoes, their hair, their eyes, their nails, their clothes. Just love everybody, no matter how different they are from you.
I think it's as simple as you say good morning in Lakota. So we'll end the same way we started as you get ready to go to work. Tell us how you said good morning in Lakota.
Good morning in Lakota is he honey washte.
I think that's just as simple as you walk out and as you walk into space. Make sure you say that. Dorian, thanks for being who you are. Thanks for saying yes to the ask. I think people always say thank you, but no, somebody had to say yes to the ask, and you did. And thank you for making kindness not something that was random in that moment. That stuck with me, stuck with Brandy Benson and everybody who saw it. And I know you didn't know we all saw and heard and noticed that moment, but that is who you are. And that's why I definitely wanted you in this space. So with that being said, we're going to go to break on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Gentlemen, are you ready for something beyond the ordinary haircut? At Scissors and Scotch Lincoln, they blend your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. Sink into a comfy chair, unwind with a complimentary drink, and let their master barbers handle the rest. It's not just grooming, it's an experience. Whether you're prepping for a big meeting, needing to get cleaned up before family comes to town, or just need a little time to yourself, Scissors and Scotch Lincoln delivers sharp style every time. Book now at Scissors and Scotch in Lincoln, just south of 30th and Yankee Hill Road.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
The wait is over. It's Truck Month at Anderson Ford, which means big selection and even bigger savings on Ford F-150s. Like lease a 2025 Ford F-150 for only $195 per month. The truck that's built to work hard and play hard. Another reason you'll experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1008409. Previous service letter. $195 per month for 36 months, 7,500 miles per year, 8,500 with tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 3/31/26.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the top-selling Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to help blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide smooth energy so you can cruise through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
True Built Construction in Lincoln honors the fighting men and women of the military and all of the veterans who have gone before. We salute you and thank you for your sacrifice. We understand freedom comes with a price. Thank you for serving our country and defending our freedoms. Our prayers go with you and your families. Stay safe, stay strong, and may God bless America. This military tribute from True Built Construction in Lincoln. Call 402-477-4663. Proud to salute our troops.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson and joined with Harrison. If you missed the last two segments, I would highly encourage you to go to YouTube, go to the app, take it in. Dorian Nolan Jr., who's a senior at Lincoln High, was one of our scholars who was in-house. He had to go to work, but I've been working for about a month or so to get him in, and really the last segment told Harrison, I think it explained why I was working to get him in. And we had DP come in and share some words. And so thank you, Dorian. Thanks to his mom, his grandma, his whole family, his siblings, really all are part of the investment of who he is, and just made perfect sense to have him in the space.
Yeah, and I love that you guys rewarded him, for it's very, very rare that you get rewarded for those random acts of kindness in ways that are like physical material things. And it shouldn't always be that way. But in this case, I think for Dorian, and a nice reminder for all of us, is like those things go noticed. Yeah. You might not always get, some soundproof headphones, which is a nice little bonus on top of it. But those things go a long way. And I know Dorian, he would have told you he'd do it 100 times over again, even if he knew he wasn't going to get the headset there with it. But I think it's just a nice reminder that there's always eyes on you, and those random acts of kindness. Obviously DP's in here. Shout out for the Love Prince
the
cap.
beanie, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if these are on the ticket store, but maybe they are. I don't want to say if they are or not for sure. But that Love Prince, he obviously is a big speaker of that. I know you're a big speaker of that as well. And it's very important. You want to put your imprint of love on as much as you can and leave things better than you found it. And Dorian's certainly practicing that. And again, it's a nice little reminder of those acts of kindness. They don't always go unnoticed. You're going to have people notice those things, and you never know what that ripple effect can be. I know I was making jokes with you. I need to start doing some random acts of kindness. Maybe you'll see me picking up trash outside your house one day, and hoping that you notice and get some headsets. But
we wanted to make it. We wanted to make the tie-in. I mean, the headsets, but also the act that he did. I mean, when he even made the apology, like, "I'm sorry, they're not noise canceling." How that the details of that. And so, I always talk about relationships lead, your purpose lives, and so that definitely was it. So thank you, Dorian. Really, truly appreciate you. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the area. I know there's been a ton of Husker talk, and that obviously those seasons are transitioning, but the late run into March Madness, always good to see in a lot of ways where the season doesn't end when the Nebraska high school state tournament season ends. But, a couple things, there's the state speech championship. And so Class A, Lincoln East won. We've had Belinda, who was an individual winner in the space. I know, Harrison, you've done some speech and debate.
Gave it a run. Shout out to the kids that are succeeding in it. It's a tough skill to master.
Well, and you look at that, and I think it kind of gets overshadowed. And then I saw it start kind of showing up on my thread. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. And so Class B, York, which is within the listening area. I think, globally, 93.7 Ticket is in the listening area. But Class B, York. Class C was Gothenburg. Class C2 was Hartington, Newcastle.
Hey, shout out.
Yeah,
my
I was going to
hometown.
say. I mean, that's what
I told you. That's that public school across the street. And that's the one my brothers went to.
Oh, okay.
They are elite speech
and
one-act kids. It's awesome, that school. I always like to give their jabs, but it is incredible every year. They take that part seriously, and then you'll see a lot of those graduates that are into that scene there. A lot of really great speakers and leaders. So, again, I never want to belittle. I always want to kind of elevate how cool that stuff is, and like it is impressive what those kids do.
Well, and I saw that, so I was like, okay, Hartington New. I was like, I wondered if that was the same space. So okay, Hartington, Newcastle, Class D1, Riverside, and Class D2 was Osmond. And so congratulations to all those as a team. And then we have our hot ones, individual Brett Baker, he's in Amalgam. And so they always come in strong with a force and had a number of finalists and competitors. So I'd be remiss if did not acknowledge that.
And shout out to all the judges that are great in that. Because I know my brother Houston, who lives in Lincoln, He actually did that for a very long time. And again, it's kind of sometimes a thankless job.
Right.
But a lot of them do it just out of pure passion and joy. And they remember all the great memories they had through it. So I know my brother was one of those people. And I don't think he's doing it anymore. But shout out to all the judges that take time, because those are long days and they need to find a lot of judges for those events.
Well, and I think about that, and then I think we had FFA,
Yep.
you know, coming through. I know the
That's a
windows
lot
was
of
open,
judges.
and we were like watching, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay. So we had that onslaught in the community, and I know the Downtown Lincoln Association is extremely thankful for all of theirs. I think the president or whoever won was from Gothenburg, so I saw that posted. So we'll look to have that on. Obviously, the basketball. I am repping my Arizona gear today. And so people are like, oh, fair weather fan. I know it's been 25 years. I've told this story. We moved from Tucson, Arizona. I thought my whole life was planned out, that I was going to go there. I was going to go to Saguaro High School, where Rodney Pete went to high school. And then my dad said, we're moving to Arizona. And I was like, well, you are. And then, you know, as a 14-year-old or whatever else, I got put in some sort of submission hold that I had no clue from a man that was 25 years in the military. And I say they brought me up here like the Black Griswolds and ended up here in Lincoln, Nebraska. But strong, solid team. I mean, I think that, you know, you saw my post that said bear down. And I think you and Jeff got a little excited and thought I was switching over from Cowboys fandom to the Bears, but that is what the Wildcats say when you're within community. And when I was in Kansas City a couple weeks ago during it, they like bear down. And so when people see that, it has nothing to do with the Chicago Bears and their lack of dominance over the years.
Never heard an Arizona Wildcat say that in all my life. So you can keep coming up with the excuses. No, yeah, I understand that it's fair down. It was fun talking.
Jeff was all like worked up. You're part of us now. He came out of the studio trying to hug me and everything else. So Jeff, I do want to, as we talked about in close up International Women's Month, but you know, we also have the men's Final Four, but also the women are showing their dominance as well. Many of the top seeds. Dawn Staley is always fun to watch. I mean, South Carolina is rolling. Gino Oriema is is making great points. I mean, I don't know what what people feel one way or the other, but he was talking about points on equity and just like when they had to have shoot arounds and the rims and the baskets and like practices and then trying to put 2 games in one day and how they're, you know, scheduling around. And so if you're going to grow the game, which the game is there, I mean, you had, you know, the Flau'jae Johnsons, the, you know, Asia Wilsons, the Caitlin Clarks. I mean, you're at a point.
Paige Beckers.
Paige,
yeah, you can go on and on and on.
You've got it. You got to start doing some things. I mean, they had the weight room issue a couple of years ago. I think Sabrina Nescu was one of those ones that pointed that out. I just think there's got to be a way. My personal opinion, and I get it, but I've always wondered why you didn't have like the men's and women's in the same space and just use the same location and go whatever Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, we've talked about it here on the station. I know not with you, but I've talked about it on other shows.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to fix attendance, I think that's a big helper right there. Because like some of these, the attendance turns out great. Sometimes you get an upset. You know, say if it's like somehow Duke got upset.
Right.
How empty is that arena the rest of that tournament throughout it? Like maybe some games get some crowds in there, but you end up with, you know, sometimes it's really brutal road travel for these teams because, again, it's just kind of random on how these seeds are going to fall out and who's going to get those home court advantages. And it's probably the other parts of it. This part, you know, it's a good thing, and it's always kind of sad that it comes to this, though. But I am optimistic that a lot of these things will get corrected. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not in the next 5 years, but the business is saying, hey, there's some money in women's sports.
Yeah.
And usually when the money is there, you get some grown-up decisions about prioritizing, you know, these certain elements as opposed to, well, it's an afterthought. You know, we don't need to put as much emphasis. Whether, you know, maybe it's not a great thing that I think maybe the business numbers are going to help guide a lot of this conversation, a lot of these adjustments, but I do think there's clearly a revenue source that they're starting to realize. You're seeing it like with the women's softball, women's March Madness, women's volleyball. Those are obvious ones, but I think we'll start heading in the right direction for a lot of these issues.
No, and I think everything that you said, I think for me, it's just looking at that elementary, middle, high school level where you don't want individuals get disinterested and 100%. They follow the format of what end quote, grown-ups are doing. So with that being said, great show. Again, I want to just express my appreciation to Dorian for coming into space as he goes to work, truly about what this show is about. I mean, again, relationships leading your purpose lives. And so Harrison, thank you for everything. DP, Rebecca, thanks for making the space. And we'll see you next week on 93.7 The Ticket. Bigger than the score.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.